an eye on them.
What are they up to? What are you worried about?
Loads of Steve, you wouldn't be laughing like that if you'd watch them, because they do some weird stuff and that, is what I mean.
What sort of stuff? Any examples?
I saw a bee have a heart attack.
You saw a bee have a heart attack?
Yeah.
How were you sure it was a heart attack?
Because what happened, I'd been...
Did it clutch its chest with all 6 legs?
No,
Were there some other little bee paramedics?
No, I'd just been out in the park anyway, just looking at, caterpillars knocking about, butterflies and stuff, so I was sort of...
So when Suzanne goes to work, she goes, Carl, don't you waste the day. Just because you don't work at the radio station anymore, I want you to do some constructive stuff. And you go, yeah, I am, yeah. And so in your head suddenly goes... And he goes out, oh, there's a moth.
But the thing is, so I'd been in the park and I was aware of the insects that are around us more than, like, most of the time. And I come out of the park, just crossing, like, sort of a busy road and what have you. And I saw this bee to the right of me, sort of in the air. And it was a big one, and I was a bit like, oh, let's watch that. And it just fell. It fell from the air in front of me. And it was on the pavement. And I thought, oh, what's going on here? And I looked at it for a bit, and it was really still. Gave it a little kick, just to see if there was any movement. Nothing. Stone, sort of, what's the saying? Stone cold dead.
Yeah! Stone cold bee dead.
So,
yeah. I like the fact that this bee suddenly saw Carl and had a heart attack.
Yeah.
It'd never seen anything that round before. Yeah. It just thought, it had approached him because he thought it was a sunflower.
My God, it's a giant walking orange. Every dream has come true.
No, but it just summed up life for me. I thought that's like us, isn't it, at the end of the day? They have heart attacks, stress.
Are you putting them to stress, do you?
Well, it's in London, isn't it? You know, everything has stresses from living in it.
And they are bald, aren't they? They've got fur all over. They lose the...
And always overweight.
It was a fat, bald bee.
So what did it fell to the floor and you instantly, you just kicked it, you didn't attempt to revive it?
I waited a second and just looked at it to see if there was any, leg movement or wing, and there was nothing, and then when I sort of kicked it, it was sort of hard. It had hardened already. It was just...
Rigor mortis had
set in.
Did it put you in a bad mood for the day? Because I know things like that can just send you over the edge for the day.
Death and that does a bit. Suzanne doesn't like me talking about death.
What riveting conversations do you come up with?
No, just things like one of our mates has had a baby recently, and I just was saying, when that's sort of our age, we'll nearly be dead.
Think of that.
That's the first thing he says, there's a new life brought into the world.
I know.
Well, when he's our age, we'll be dead.
Yeah.
No,
maybe they'll let you do the speech at the christening.
Yeah, it's just, so like I say, just insect life and that, it's interesting.
You say it's interesting, but do you care about really finding out about them? Do you really care about what bees do or ants do? You look at them and you make up your own world. For example, it had a heart attack, it's stressed, it's overweight. You know nothing. I could probably... Why don't you look something up? Honeybees are fascinating. Honeybees, they've been around making honey for 100 million years. It's incredible. Their wings beat over 11,000 times a minute.
And he's thinking, no wonder I had a heart attack.
Yeah, exactly. But they're fact. Do you know bees, like ants, are actually like specialised wasps. They're sort of developed from the same
family. Family, like.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise you, though. Does it interest you in any way?
Well, everything's linked to something, isn't it? It's like how they say we're from monkeys and that.
Yeah.
It's all the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been watching loads of stuff. I've been watching ants. You mentioned ants. I've had a lot of moths in the house. They're sort of sad.
I mean, you say it like it was a garden party.
No, yeah. It's just all these things. You look at them. I mean, you go into the scientific bit saying, it likes honey or whatever.
It doesn't like honey. The reason they store honey is to get them through the winter when there's not like nectar, or nectar's hard to get, and they store it. And they store too much, which is why we can skim a little bit off the top. We're like agents.
Yeah, well, but all I'm saying is I look at more about what its life is like. As
well, no, you don't. You don't. You guess. You make it up. You don't look into it at all. No,
but you can. A bit of guesswork is you're pretty close to the truth most of the time.
What do you mean? That statement sums you up. A bit of guesswork is pretty close to the truth.
Because if you watch something long enough, is what I'm saying, you can see that it's a bit clueless. It's the same way about ants. So they're hard workers and all that. I watch one, it's going back and forth all the time. They go one way and then they stop and go the other way. They try to look busy in front of the mates. But if you watch one long enough, it's back and forwards and it's like it's done nothing there.
I'm going to carry this twig back and forth. There's like a knock-off at 4.
There's a lot of that going on.
Is there?
Because there's none of that going on.
There is. No, like I say, the moth, depressing little sort of thing.
Why is it depressing?
Just the way it hasn't got eyes, has it? You just look at it, it doesn't know what's going on. I think if you haven't got eyes, you shouldn't have wings.
That's a rule. If we can put that into practice, please.
That's a great rule. That's a fantastic rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you haven't got eyes, you shouldn't have wings.
It's certainly true of people thinking of becoming an air pilot.
That's what we were saying about bodies. I can't remember why we were talking about it. We've got to a point in science now that you can change your head. Right?
No, well, that doesn't make any sense at all.
It was a programme on... It was done in the 50s or 60s where they stuck a monkey's brain on a stick and had it wired up and it still worked, right?
Right, okay.
And that was in like the 60s or
Right,
whatever.
okay. Well, to say to change your head makes no sense at all. Because if you put a different head on a different body, you're changing the body.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm about to say to you, though.
What?
That's what I'm saying. That I'd be more confident if I had someone else's body. Because if anyone dissed it, I can go, no, it's bad, innit? But it's
What are you
mine.
talking about?
Well, it's like, say...
As opposed to someone else's head?
Yeah. Well,
What,
it
you'd
wouldn't be me, would it? The head is me.
Well, of course it is. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
So
the
what do you
head's
mean? You'd be happy having someone else's body? What, than your own?
What I mean is, say if you're wandering about, for some reason there's an incident, you have to take your top off and that, and everyone's looking at you, right? And you're a bit sort of, you haven't got the muscles and that, you haven't got the six-pack.
Right.
Which isn't that nice anyway. I don't know why that's become a nice thing, really, seeing the insides of you. You might as well... I mean, I know I came up with the see-through skin idea, but it's a bit weird, isn't it? You can see stuff.
No, it's the muscle in front of the...
No, it's not.
It is.
Sometimes you can
It's
see,
not the-
like,
It's not the
tubes.
outline of your
No, you can't
organs.
see tubes.
You can see tubes and veins and stuff.
Well, you can see veins.
Yeah, well, I don't want to see that. That's why we've got skin over it. Is
Well,
what
stop
I mean.
looking at naked men then.
Why
No,
you
but
keep-
sometimes you can't help it because it's been hot, and like you say, there's people walking about with vests on and that. So anyway, what I'm saying is, say if some incident happened, I'm walking about with my top off.
Right.
Girls are laughing at me, right?
Why?
Don't know, they might.
Yeah, go on. So they wouldn't look at your body, they'd all look at your head.
So what I mean is,
Yeah.
rewind that, right, and imagine all that happens again, but I've got someone else's body.
Right.
Whose body?
Just some fella who's died, and my body was injured, and they said, we've got a new body in. You can
Right.
have it. We'll
Yeah.
stick your head on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, say if...
They're laughing at you.
they are
laughing at the
laughing,
body,
they're laughing
yeah.
at the body,
Yeah.
but at least I'd be able to sort of go, I know it's a mess, but it's not mine. At least I don't have to claim ownership.
So all of this extraordinary technology that can make put one head on another person's body, so you can go, it's not my body.
No.
But
And it's not your own.
I'm not being funny though. So if you have a body transplant, right, and you're there, you're at home, naked, you look down, lovely penis and a set of testicles,
Yeah.
right? What do you do with them?
What do you mean, what am I doing with them?
Well, do you like them?
Well, you wouldn't mess about with them as much as if they were your own.
But if you did mess about with them, would you feel guilty that you were messing about with another man's testicles and penis?
And it's the full body.
Yeah.
No, because they're not my hands either.
You're a genius! You're a fucking genius! So what you're doing is watching someone else wank.
Yeah. I had an email here. Karl is trying to distract attention from the fact that he is a monkey raised among humans and horses and has failed to develop hair.
I can just imagine him being the second cleverest in a troop of monkeys. You know what I mean?
Second cleverest.
Do you know what I mean? So
Picking fleas out of their hair.
oh, look at his little face. I'll tell you what. Heat, I'm gonna get a picture of you. Just put it in the radio section of Heat. Just this is what Karl looks like.
Oh, another email. Someone said when the monkey boy went to the shops, he was naked. Where did he keep his money?
Good point. Didn't happen then.
Right. Well, just want a quick question because I'm a bit confused. Is this show 13 because we've just done 12, or is this show 1 of the all new Ricky Gervais show? I didn't know where we were.
Show 1 of the all new Ricky Gervais show.
Right.
Is it now?
What do you mean?
Well, that's like that question that I put to you about say if like we do something wrong to this world, runs out of whatever we need. I don't know how it works.
You put yourself down. I think you do, and I think you.
No, just whatever the reason is. If it,
you are talking yourself out of a job with NASA, putting yourself down like that. I think you know exactly how the world works.
No, but just like say if we had to go to another world,
right?
What year would it be?
Yeah.
I explained. I told you it depends because it doesn't matter where you start. Right, it depends what a year is. A year is a year because that's how long it takes our planet to go round our sun. A day is a day because that's how long it takes the world to revolve.
I know,
once.
but you can't go to another world and then start changing everything because people are going to be a bit unnervy about being on different soil. So
but
you
it's
can't
not their choice. You can't go to a planet and go, we've got to speed this planet up. It's not going through the space quickly enough.
Yeah, but everybody's, like especially older people, is set in the ways, right?
I don't think older people set in their ways are going to pack their bags and go to Mars.
No, but if they have to. Anyway, that isn't the point. All I'm saying...
Well, they're going to be moaning about days are shorter here, or days are longer, aren't they?
Well, yeah, you know what they like.
But
Change.
people don't care. They like short days. They don't get out of bed, do they, until late? They've got nothing to get up for. They go to bed early.
Yeah, but it's not just that, is it?
What if it's a longer day, Steve?
Oh, nightmare.
That's your point, isn't it?
But I'm talking about stationery, diaries. Everything's going to be a mess.
Right.
So what do you do? If I was in charge,
Go on.
I'd just say, yeah, carry on. It's 2007, it's September, it's a Thursday. Get on with it.
Brilliant.
I think because people
26 hours later, with a new day, and 480 days later, it's another year, 2008. I was trying to explain to him yesterday in a cafe about telescopes that can see back to the Big Bang.
Why did you do that?
Well, I was trying to explain what a light year was. Then I was explaining to him that you sit down, you put your telescope on, you're looking at a star, the star explodes. That star exploded 1 million years ago, and he couldn't have it. I was going, you're literally seeing it explode 1 million years ago, because that's how long the light... And I started telling that, someone on another planet, far, far away, could be watching the 1980 World Cup final, if they had a strong enough telescope, because that's how long it took to get... look at his face. I can see his head bleeding.
I just don't... So are you saying...
Why did you start doing this in a cafe? Was it a 24-hour cafe? What were you thinking?
But are you saying then there could be an alien fella?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that just like we can see things happening in on other planets, other solar systems that happened millions of years ago, there could be a little alien fella with a telescope watching the Battle of Hastings if he was far enough away.
Do you understand the concept of what Ricky's saying, that light is travelling at a certain speed, which means it hasn't necessarily arrived here yet?
So we could all relive history, though, is what I mean.
No, we couldn't, because we
whiz backwards.
Well, no. One, you'd have to travel faster than the speed of light.
Yeah, I know, but say if we can do all that...
Well, that's the big thing, you can't.
No, but, it's only a matter of time, isn't it?
Why haven't we?
No, but we're not in a rush to do it, because we can just go back in time.
Well, but if time travel's possible, right, eventually, then it's already happened and they've come back.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is, it's one of those inventions that we're not in a rush to do, because...
No, what I'm saying is, if it's possible, then it will happen, and if it will happen, it has in the future.
Yeah, but we don't know about that yet, do we?
No, but you see my point?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not that great just because you're seeing that far, because there's nothing in the way. You're looking at nothing. Space is nothing. What are you looking at? They say... What do they say? I don't know.
It's only on a saying there at your fingertips.
What I mean is the universe, they say it's non-stop, there's no sides to it.
No, they don't say that. Scientists have never said that. Do you feel like you're thinking in your head?
Sometimes, like then I was. But I don't know if I am, because it's got a mind of its own, hasn't it? Out of all the people in the world to have a chat with, do you know, what's his face? That German doctor.
Which one? The guy that displays the human body?
Guns Traven or something.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's pretty good. Just like the way, he cuts stuff up, shows you how the body works and that.
Sure.
And have you learned anything from that?
Well, I don't. Is he a proper doctor? Because it's just that it's always. I mean, I could cut a body up. I never see him sort of put it back together. Is anyone keeping an eye on him? Sort of going, well, who is he actually?
I'm sure he's a proper doctor.
Well, he sort of cuts bodies up on the telly and sort of goes, "Is how like intestines work or whatever."
Right.
And he just he holds them up, fills them with food, and he goes, "Look, they go fatter." And I mean, he doesn't answer everything. Like he doesn't say, I don't understand why the intestines have to be that long. I don't know why it just can't go from the throat to the belly, exit, straight dark line down, out the arse.
You must know.
Well, no, because the way he dragged it out, and it was like miles long.
Yeah.
Pointless.
No, it's not pointless.
Just have a straight, you know what I mean, straight down.
It's to increase the surface area for absorption. So a foot long intestine, you wouldn't absorb much food. Whereas you go down,
Yeah, but just have more points in it where it has to go through some sort of filter.
What are you talking about? Again, the evolution sort of worked this out for us. It really works.
I don't think you're going to improve on it. In your mind, you some kind of kerplunk style intestine.
What I mean is that's probably that long because years ago they were eating dinosaur, and that might have took a lot of indigestion or something. I don't know how chewy it was. It might have been quite fatty, dinosaur meat, and it needs to go through all that. Now we're eating like yogurt. So I mean, we don't need anything that is doing that much work anymore. All the food is mashed up. Auntie Nora, right? All her food is mashed. Right? She doesn't have to chew anymore. She's got teeth, but she doesn't need them. And that's how.
She's got teeth, but she don't need them.
No, but that's how.
She can have her intestines removed then.
Well, no, but this is what I'm saying.
That's our other problem, wouldn't it?
We're changing everything all the time, aren't we? I mean, there's some fella who was looking at on the internet. Identical twins, right? They were sort of sick of looking like each other, so they were like, "What can we do?" Right? And one of the twins said, "You have my arm," right? And he had his arm taken off and stuck on his twin, so his twin's got like 3 arms.
No, it's not true.
It's on the website.
No, it's not true.
What, for a laugh? They were born
So
they didn't have
what doctor's doing this then?
Well, they're old enough to sort of say this is what we want. And
No. Doctors don't go, well, if he wants another arm, and I'll take that. They don't. Doctors don't do that. What sort of practice is this doctor going around and going,
Dr. Jekyll?
I mean, Carl, think of what you're saying.
but
where would he have stopped? Can you put his head on my knee? It's up to you. Sign this. If you sign this, you may give my consent.
But we, it is annoying.
What do you think these doctors sit around doing? Playing Mr. Potato? Or what do you think these doctors are doing?
Just they do as they're told.
They don't do as they're told.
They do if someone wants it, and twins sort of it can get you down, can't it? Being a twin, because it's like.
Sorry, what would this solve though? I thought you said he gave one of them a bigger nose or a beard or 2 front teeth to make them look different, right? I'll tell you what we could do. Go on. Would you like one arm? Go on, what are you thinking? Well, me 3, you 1, therefore not twins.
Novelty.
I mean, you are a mental man.
But they can do it now, can't they? There's no sort of there's no line drawn anymore. They don't go, "You're crazy. We're not going to do that."
Yeah, in Saw 2, not in the real world.
No,
they don't do things like
all
this.
Right, there's another bloke, right? I don't know the sort of full ins and outs of it.
Go on, you surprise me.
But what he asked for, something happened to his tackle, right?
Mm-hmm. His penis.
Yeah, right. So he was at the doctors, and they were like, "Oh, what can you do for me? It's a bit embarrassing. I've got nothing down there." Right? So they were like looking at it, going, "Yeah." Doctor, I don't know if he started like rubbing his chin with his finger or something. Looked down. He's thinking, got an idea. You've got a lot of fingers. How many of them do you use? The patient's like, I see what you're thinking. They cut off one of his fingers, sewn that on to where his tackle is. He's happy.
Well, that's different though, isn't it?
Well,
that's where they've
really
taken
different.
tissue. No, but I assume they fashioned it into more of a knob than a finger.
No, I still think it's there with like a little knuckle and fingernail and that on.
Well, I assure you it isn't. They've probably used the finger as a basis to then build up some sort of knob-based organ.
If you were doing that, use a sausage. I mean, why lose a finger?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because your finger has your tissue, your blood type, and therefore would graft near your testicles. A sausage is a thing that's made by a butcher out of offal, okay, that really can't be grafted onto any part of the human body. That's why they very rarely use any meat products in surgery. I know, why not use a sausage? You're a mental case.
But I always remember this story when I was a kid about some bloke who, a bit sad, this story, but weird. He had throat cancer, right? And his doctor said, carry on with your life, right? It's not going to be that good, but just carry on. But don't eat meat. And he was like, I love meat. He's like, yeah, but just don't, have your veg, plenty of vitamins and stuff, keep yourself strong. But don't be eating that anyway. He was fed up because he loved his meat, and his wife was feeling a bit sorry for him one day, and thought, I'm sick of him looking fed up and that. All he wants is some meat, for God's sake, give him some meat. So she goes to the butcher's, gets him a big piece of like steak and what have you. He can't believe it. He's like, oh, brilliant, cheers for that. Anyway, he's got the meat on his plate, just about to tuck in, and the cancer comes out from his throat. What? No, I know, it sounds really weird, but it's something that I was told about years ago when I was growing up.
What are you talking about?
It was just some bad illness, some cancer thing, and it was coming out waiting for the meat. It was sort of dying.
Again, a lot of your medical knowledge is from the film Alien. So this guy with throat cancer. Okay, as opposed to it being a disease of the cell.
It was like a living...
The alien. Alien.
So it was the animal. It was the little animal cancer.
That's why
what are you talking about?
He wasn't allowed to eat meat.
So it's sitting there. So it's actually sitting there and saying, "Well, I'll tell you what I'd have done if I'd have had some cancer in my throat." I go, there you go, rid of that. What are you talking about? So what happened?
He choked to death on this thing, and the wife was like, "Oh, I shouldn't give him the meat after all."
Just that's the bollock story.
It's all, there's loads of weird stuff like that.
There
happens in medical stuff.
Well, the terrible thing is, if you got testicular cancer and you eat meat, your bollocks come out of your trousers and they're all over the plate, and you have to be asked to leave the restaurant.
The other thing that I was told when I was younger about medical stuff and that.
Who's telling you this stuff?
My mum told me about it.
Jeez.
Because she always says to me dad, because he has too much meat, she's always like,
Remember the
feather with the
troll in his throat.
But my gran, she had something wrong with her eyes, and they sort of took them out, and they were just dangling on a cheek, and she could still see through them. They were operating on her.
Yeah, you would have, yeah.
They sort of say...
No, she wouldn't have been conscious though.
No, they were then, because it's something to do with the eyes, and it's like... No, it's no good operating on eyes if your eyes are asleep.
What do you mean, your eyes are asleep?
It's like a heart, isn't it? You want to keep them awake.
No,
so
what do you mean you want to keep them awake? What, heart surgery is when blokes awake? Stop talking shit all your life.
What I mean is they don't stop the heart. They sort of...
They don't stop your heart because it kills you.
Yeah, I know. So what I mean is it's like the eyes. They wanted to make sure they were working. So the only way to do it is keep her awake.
No, it's not, because you don't know whether they're working or not. You can't see what she sees. What you think? You can plug something in and see what people are thinking.
It was something like that.
No, it wasn't something like that.
Well, she could see. It was really weird. How like, you can see...
She could see her knees.
That is bollocks.
Had a good week, Carl?
All right, just boring. It's a boring week. Because that sort of kidney operation I've had. it's just affecting my life in a big way.
How are you now, Carl? Are you feeling better?
Better than what I was last week.
Because last week you really were not putting the effort in, were you?
And it's your own fault. You know, you've got kidney stones, you don't drink enough water.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been doing this week. Just drinking.